Hi there, Donna Jarock, your local realtor. Today we are going to talk about some of the myths and the reality of a first-time home buyer. Now, probably the number one myth that floats around a buyer's head is that they are out there looking for their dream home. Quite the opposite. I would tell you that the reality of this is your stepping stone. You may be 3, 4, 5 houses down the road before you really get your dream home. And some of us never get our dream home. That's a fact. You most likely will be stepping into a home that needs work, that needs updates, that needs things that you wish you had, but maybe you're not in the budget for at the moment, or you don't want a certain monthly payment. Even if you can qualify for it, you don't want to stretch yourself so far. So just realize that your first home is just that. It's a stepping stone. It will not be your forever home, most likely. Most people go through sometimes 5, 10 homes during their lifetime, depending on life circumstances as well. Now, myth number 2 is that you need a 20% down payment. Absolutely not true. Now, while that would be great for a first-time home buyer, it's really not reality. The truth is, most first-time home buyers today are scraping every single penny that they can get together to get into their first home. And with all of the options out there today, with no down payment assistance programs, there's a lot of options for first-time home buyers to get into a home without eliminating or depleting their entire savings. So I think that that's something really important for you as a first-time home buyer to sit down with your realtor and your lending team and really talk about what is the difference to you, the buyer, if you put down 3%, 5%, or 20% if you have it, or a family member is going to gift that to you, versus a no down payment option. Now, the one thing that we know definitely out of the gate is that if you do a no down payment option, your interest rate will be higher. But in the grand scheme of things, you really need to sit down with your team and understand what that looks like for you every month. Sometimes that higher payment is okay when you have those funds sitting aside available to help you offset those payments as well. Or what can you do with the cash that you would have put down on a house? Maybe you pay off a car and that frees up anywhere between $300 and $800 a month. Even though you're getting a higher interest rate on a house, that interest is now tax deductible as well. It may still save you on the monthly outgo that you have every single month. So again, really important to talk with your lending team, your realtor, all about what your options and strategies should be when it comes to the down payment in your home. Now, myth number 3, that you must have perfect credit to buy a home. Absolutely not true. There are programs out there designed for people with less than perfect credit. But yes, again, you may be required to have a bigger down payment, or you definitely will have a higher interest rate. All of those things can be combated. Again, speaking with your lending team, your realtor, as to what that might look like for you in purchasing a home. Maybe you purchase a little bit less of a home until you get those items fixed in your credit house so that you can refinance and be into a more favorable interest rate as well. Now, myth number 4, when purchasing a home, the more expensive, the better it is. That may hold true for several things in your life, but a house is not one of them. Your home is a huge financial investment. So bigger price tag does not mean it is a better investment. There are a lot of people that have spent way more on a house than you may be planning to spend and will have way bigger problems. Your bigger priced homes will come most likely with a lot more square footage, and you will have larger utility bills, water bills, all of that come into effect when purchasing a home, as well as your hazard insurance that you need to place on that property. So again, let's talk to our team, your realtor, your lenders, and look at what that looks like for you in terms of the bigger house payment and what kind of utilities, hazard insurance, things that you will have along along the way when you have that mortgage in place. Now, myth number 5, you should always buy and never rent. Absolutely not true. The reality is you will rent for a lot of years of your life, and some people never buy a home. If you are traveling all the time, your job relocates you a lot, it may not be a wise investment to purchase a home. You could end up upside down during certain periods of that home ownership because property values fluctuate. They go up, they go down, they stabilize. You never know what's going to happen. And if you find yourself in a home knowing that you have to leave in a year, maybe you're being deployed, maybe you're being relocated, maybe you're moving because of a life event, you're having your first baby, you want to go move and be by family, you may find it difficult to unload that home that you just purchased a year before because interest rates have gone up, the market has changed. Maybe that home hasn't settled into its true value yet. And you wouldn't want to be stuck with a home, that you can't sell, and now you're stuck with a mortgage payment that you really weren't planning on having at this time. Or even renting it out is not feasible because of the amount that you would need to collect in rent to cover that mortgage payment. So buying is not always better than renting. It really depends on what you have coming up in your life over the next few years to help you decide whether that is true for you or not. Myth number 6, that you need to be in the perfect neighborhood. Again, what is going to dictate that for you is going to be your budget and what those homes run in that neighborhood that you want. For a lot of people getting into their first home, what are we all thinking about? Having our family, getting the kids into the perfect schools. And oftentimes those homes in those neighborhoods will run a little bit more than a neighboring home in a different school district. So again, this is your stepping stone, and you may get into a home in a neighborhood that is not your dream neighborhood. There's nothing wrong with that. There will always be somebody for that home down the road as well that will be in the same position that you're in when they start looking for their first home. They may not be in the perfect ideal location that they want to be because they can't afford the homes in that neighborhood, but it's a great place to start. You're not throwing your money away on rent, you're getting a tax deduction, and hopefully you are building some equity in that property that you can sell and then move into that dream neighborhood that you would love to be in at some points. Myth number 7, the list price is always negotiable, so maybe you should consider a lowball offer. Now, part of that sentence is correct. The list price is always negotiable. Now, you may encounter a seller that is adamant they will not take a penny less than what their home is listed for. And that's a great conversation for you to have with your realtor to see why. Is it priced accordingly for the area? And if so, maybe you will be stuck paying what that seller is asking. However, I do not ever recommend going in with a lowball offer, even if the home has been sitting on the market for a little while. Have your realtor do their due diligence, help you look at comps, understand maybe why the home has been on the market longer than others, if indeed it has. But a lowball offer is only going to come off to the seller unreasonable, if you will. They will get a sour taste in their mouth in trying to deal with your offer, and you may not even get a counter. If you did a lowball offer in hopes of getting a counter, you surely are putting the cart before the horse, if you will, and you will most likely not even get a counter proposal and then be looking at your realtor wondering why you didn't get a counter. They may feel insulted. The one thing I like to try to remind all of my buyers is when it's your turn to sell, I want you to consider how you would feel about an offer that you're potentially going to give that seller right now. If it were your home, how would you feel about that offer? And if you start to feel a little bit squirmy about it, maybe it's time to reevaluate what you're putting on paper to that seller. If you're really wanting to get into that home, sometimes you have to put your best offer on the table up front, especially in a hot market, or if you know that there are other offers coming to the table as well. And that's something that your realtor can help you with also. Myth number 8. Yes, we're up to 8 already. How about you will find your perfect home from an open house? Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Over 28 years selling real estate in the metro area, I have hosted my fair share of open houses, and I very rarely have had a buyer go through that property and say, this is the one I've been looking for. The truth is, there are so many ways for buyers to find homes online today that just happening to drive through a neighborhood and see an open house sign and walk in and realize this is it, where has it been? If it's an open house, it's most likely all over the internet as well. And you've probably seen it a few times. Your realtor has probably put it in front of you as well. And if you're communicating with your realtor properly and they know what you're looking for and you've expressed those ideas to them, they've most likely seen this property and hopefully have shown it to you as well before there was an open house, and there may be more competition for you as well. Myth number 9, you should wait for the market to cool down before buying a home. Now, over the many years, we have seen a crazy roller coaster ride all throughout the United States. And just 2 years ago, most buyers could not even enter the market without a huge down payment, waiving rights to inspections, sometimes covering shortages in appraisals, or having a big, huge amount of down payment. So if you're a first-time home buyer, most likely that wasn't you. You should not be waiting for the market to cool down, because what will happen is, if that does happen, you may see interest rates rising. So when you originally were out looking and you qualified for a $400,000 house, now that the market has cooled, there are reasons that happens. Maybe there is a huge amount of inventory. Most likely interest rates have also gone up. And if that has happened, then your purchasing power has probably decreased if you were already at your high end of purchasing. So consider that there are market fluctuations that will cause things to happen in your purchase. And again, having those discussions with your team, your lender, your realtor will help you to get a better handle on when and how you should be getting into the market as well. Myth number 10, I am going to wait until the spring to purchase my home. Sometimes that's a big mistake, because if you're out in the fall or winter months, granted, there may not be as much inventory out there for you to look at, but I'm going to tell you what, there's a lot of people that were thinking just like you were, waiting until the spring. And what happens every spring? The market picks up, people are out looking again, more property does come on the market, but now you have much more competition as well. So if you can purchase now and you're in the market, it doesn't matter what time of year it is, spring, summer, fall, or winter, get out there and buy when the market is right for you. So I hope all of those tips have helped you. If you need anything further regarding buying or selling in the metro area, again, my name is Donna Jarock, Coldwell Banker, 28 years selling real estate full-time in the metro area. I would love to have a chat with you. Call or text me at 303-718-6285, or scan this QR code and you can schedule a one-on-one call with me as well at your convenience. Thank you for your time. Look forward to speaking with you.